Hi, this is Professor Ormsbee, and one of the things that I see each semester at the beginning of the semester is students struggling in calculus. And it's usually not because calculus is too hard or they aren't capable of figuring it out. It's because they're also struggling with a foundational skill that they are just a little rusty on. And so we're going to cover one of those skills today so that students can prepare for calculus with confidence. Yesterday at my professor readiness check on my business page, Calc Ready, you'll see a professor's readiness check that we did. And so I asked if you could simplify this expression without a calculator. And so I'll give you a minute to try to do that if you didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. All right. Well, let's see if we can do it together. So one of the skills is rationalizing the denominator. When you have a radical like this in the denominator or an expression involving a radical, and you're going to want to multiply by the square root of 3 in the top and bottom. And I always tell my students the reason that you're doing that is you're really multiplying by 1 and you're creating what we call an equivalent fraction. And so you're going to get 12 square root of 3, and the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9. And so you get 12 square root of 3 over 3, and then you'll be able to cancel, and you get 4 square root of 3. So if you were able to get that answer, great job. And if it took you a few seconds to really think about it, or maybe you just didn't quite get there, it's okay, you're not alone. It's a skill that if you haven't used for a while and you're a little rusty on, I find that a lot of my calculus students are the same way as they start calc in the fall or spring semester. So why does it matter? Why does this skill even matter, right? Why does algebra affect calculus? Well, this is one skill that shows up in calc quite a bit in the concept of limits and other things that we do, but specifically limits, which happens usually in most textbooks in the first couple weeks of calculus. And so in order to evaluate this limit without going into the calculus, they're going to need to rationalize the denominator. And so the algebra skill that they are maybe a little rusty on, they're learning now at the same time that they're trying to learn calculus as well. And so they're trying to do both skills at the same time, and that can be difficult and time consuming. So if they understand some of these skills before calculus starts, then learning this new concept where they have to apply a prior skill in algebra becomes a lot easier in learning the calculus concept without having to go back and learn the algebra on top of learning the calculus concept. The good news is that you don't have to guess if you're ready for calculus. You can take my free calculus readiness assessment, and you can identify the strengths and hidden learning gaps before you start calculus. You can receive a personalized readiness score from me, discover which prerequisite skills that you need review for you, and enter college math with greater confidence and not as much frustration in trying to learn both these things at the same time. Calculus can be difficult in and of itself without needing to also brush up on all the skills. So go ahead and you can scan my QR code and download the readiness assessment and let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you along your way in preparing for calculus. Have a great day.